KGVO FM Frenchtown, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM. Sports Talk tonight and streaming online at Newstalk, KGVO.com.
Calendar year sales data.
Good evening, Missoula, Montana. This is Sports Talk tonight.
Is that man distracting you over there?
He is. He's kind of whispering in my ear. That would be Kyle Stensrud. He's making fun of the fact that the Seattle Seahawks signed the 267-pound running back Eddie Lacy.
That's the weight they want him. That's the playing weight they want him right there.
Actually,
they want themselves a bulldozer.
He has got millions of dollars riding on a weight loss program.
Yeah.
That he is going to be partaking of. Hey, we digress. Sports Talk tonight with Gerns and Medard. We are live from the KGVO studios.
Good to be here.
Remember, we are streaming worldwide on newstalkkgvo.com. On the AM side, 1290. On the FM side, 98.3. Follow us on Twitter at Sports Talk Back. Podcasts online at newstalkkgvo.com. Give us a shout, 721-1290. Very special guests this evening. We have Gary Fuller, who was with us last year with the Special Olympics. He is a competitor, a medal winner, and he's going to give us the lowdown on the upcomings here in Missoula over the next couple months.
I believe they do this in rotations of 3 years. This is Missoula's last year to host. Yeah, so let's make it extra good. I know it was great last year, but that's mid-May, somewhere in there. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. We're going to talk with Gary here in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But anyways, Denny, I got some totally, we love sports and we love movies, television, music, what have you, conservative politics. Anyways.
That's why we have a home here. We're always welcome here.
That's right. Netflix, Amazon, I got rid of DirecTV, which I actually liked, but it was really flippin' expensive. Got this thing called Sling TV.
I've heard of Sling.
And sometimes
it looked a little too narrow of choices for my taste.
Ooh, there's a lot of them. I mean, and you can a la carte some other stuff too.
Yeah, but by the time you're done doing that, do you really save any money?
Over $100.
Right. Okay.
I mean, and I've got my HBO.
We digress part 2, but that's all right.
So, anyways, into the series, into watching, Game of Thrones is my all-time favorite. Sneaky Pete was a recent one, but my wife and I got into Boardwalk Empire, which is Steve Buscemi. It's about Atlantic City and kind of the mob taking over or starting all this.
Modern day or?
Oh, no, Prohibition, okay. 1920s.
Right. Oh, cool.
But anyway, you had to have a drink in your hand and an unfiltered cigarette in the other. Even to be alive back in the day.
That's like Mad Men in the late 50s and early 60s.
Completely. I mean, I'm watching this guy and he's visiting the doctor and the doctor's smoking. Mm-hmm. I mean, the babies are eating dinner and the moms are smoking. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is ridiculous. I want to know how many people died of lung disease, in the 50s and 60s, because I'm assuming it was a lot. But anyways, great series. Got through season 1, and the beauty of it is you don't have to wait for the next week because there's 4 series just sitting there waiting for me to watch.
On Amazon?
That is actually on HBO.
Oh, all right.
The cool thing about that is you get the HBO, then you have every single series that they've ever done.
You ever heard of a program called Transparency? I believe that's on Amazon.
I have heard of it, but I have not watched that one.
Okay.
Is that good?
Don't know. But a number of years ago, I have a niece. This is all fresh in my mind because I just saw them all.
We digress again.
Yeah, we do.
Good.
We do. We got plenty of time. Gary's going, am I ever going to get on this show? They promised me. My brother's 97-year-old mother-in-law passed away. Matriarch of a family of 12 kids, half of which still live in this area, I believe. Close to 40 grandkids, over 50 great-grandkids. Well, the funeral was today. And so my brother's 5 children, and their significant others and kids and whatnot, they all made it. But anyway, one of them is she's a screenwriter, does producing, directing, and things like that. And so a number of years ago, my brother, her dad, calls and says, Bridget, her name is Bridget Bedard, said, Bridget is writing for this new program on AMC. You need to watch it. I said, well, yeah, well, he said, not writing every episode, but she's written a couple episodes, and it's going to be on AMC. And I said, okay, cool, we'll do that. What's the name of the show? He says, Mad Men.
Ah.
And so and I said, well, do you know which he didn't know which episode she had written. And so Jennifer and I start watching, and we become just helplessly addicted to Mad Men about 4 or 5 episodes in. Finally, her name comes up, written by Bridget Bedard in about the 6th or 7th. She didn't write a lot of episodes, but she wrote episodes of Mad Men, and so that's how we got hooked on that show. And the reason I ask about Transparency, which I guess is out there a little bit, not necessarily controversial content, but anyway, she's a writer and producer director. She's contributing to that program now. That's what she's doing now. She lives in L.A., Hollywood area.
Well, we know who the more famous Bedard is. And
Yeah.
NJ sitting
that would be
right across from
that
me.
would be niece Bridget, actually. So.
Well,
but I got to see her today, and her other 3 sisters and brothers. So.
Speaking of passing away, a friend of mine, Mary Anderson, passed away at the age of 93 this week, and friends with the Anderson family, and one of those families where I was far away from home, and every holiday would come, and they'd take me under their wings and for holidays and what have you. And Grandma Mary made the best dip in the whole wide world.
What kind of dip?
A garlic dip with ruffles. I mean, it was awesome. But anyway, so up there with Papa George now. Love you, Grandma Mary, and it was a good run.
Yeah.
That's right.
Same with Millie Doherty.
That's
97
right.
years.
Wow, that's a good life.
Yeah.
That is
life
a good
well
life.
lived.
Denny, what's been going on, man? Besides our TV
Well,
viewing?
it's the most wonderful time of year, of course. It's March Madness, the best sports week of the year for me. You know, that opening week of the NCAA tournament. And I acknowledged the first 4, but didn't pay. We did watch Kansas State last night, beat Wake Forest. Pretty good ball game.
Yeah, Wake Forest coached by Danny Manning.
Right. You're one of your Kansas heroes.
That's right.
So,
right. Danny Manning and the Miracles.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm ready. I'm ready for. Why do I not take those days off? Why don't I just take vacation days and, go see Tom over at Paradise Falls and just stare at TVs for.
Well, just put on a neck brace before you go in there, because you're going to be bebopping back and forth to numerous games.
Well, no, they'll go ahead and put each game on one wall, so you don't have to move around too much. But I did not do that, so I guess I'll just be checking scores throughout the morning till I can get home.
So did Kyle fill out a bracket?
Yes.
Kyle filled out a bracket.
I did a company bracket.
You did the Town Square Media one. Yeah, I just finished that one.
2 or 3 times.
Although it's the same as this one. So
Kyle and Denny and myself, we're all we'll take pictures
All right.
of the brackets. I want to know what's the wager.
Before
we
noon
don't
tomorrow.
we didn't discuss that. Usually it's just bragging rights with us, but
How about this? How about we do this? Since you mentioned Tommy's name, how about
$50 from Richmond?
ooh? How about whoever loses has to buy a pizza and some beverages of the
Fair enough.
winner's choices
All right.
at Paradise Falls.
all right.
Fair enough.
How about that?
All right.
Fair enough.
Okay.
And just so everybody knows, if we can help you in any way, Gurns is calling his predictions. I'm calling mine the truth. So
Yours is called The Truth.
that's how you folks know who to gravitate toward.
Oh.
Now, it's so hard not to pick number 1 seeds to go all the way, and a couple will, but you just can't pick 4 number 1 seeds to be the Final Four. You just can't do it.
No. No, you can't.
First off, it wouldn't be fun. And second, it doesn't happen very often. Has it ever happened? I don't even know.
You do have to pick. No, it hasn't. But you do have to pick a 5 or a 12. Probably 2 of them.
Which is
a 12 seed.
5 12s are a lot of fun. 6 11s are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that killed me because my Gophers are a 5.
Well, you know what? I'm looking at these brackets.
I'm sorry that I picked the 12.
I know. I saw that. I was going to take out my pen.
Looking at these brackets, and we'll get in more depth later in the show after our guest. But what I'm seeing right here is the Midwest and the South just being buzzsaws.
Yeah, I think particularly the South.
I mean,
I don't know that they did Kentucky and North Carolina. The 1 and 2 is a lot of favors in that one.
oh,
I think the most favorable is the Midwest. I think Kansas is looking pretty good in there.
no, I think that's the toughest.
You think the Midwest is the toughest?
You got Kansas, Louisville, and Oregon that until the last week of the season
Yeah.
all were chances to be number one seeds.
With Oregon's star center out, I don't know. So
Michigan,
Louisville, I don't know. I find Louisville a little bit overrated. So maybe that's why I'm thinking that's the smoothest path. None of them are.
That
none of
works
them are
for
easy.
me.
Yeah, okay.
That works for me.
I figured you'd be thrilled.
Works.
But I put your Rock Chalk Jayhawks in there.
Hey, we like that, Denny. Hey, well, why don't we get to some quick trivia?
We can do that
before we have our guest, Mr. Fuller, on.
Got to get Gary in here. Yes, it is Sports Talk Tonight trivia. And that, of course, always brought to you by Happy Days Car Wash and Fuddruckers on North Reserve. 721-1290 if you know the trivia answer. If you do, you win a gift card for The Works Car Wash at Happy Days Car Wash. They also got the dog wash over there if the dog's getting a little bit ew. But this is a Works Car Wash. Happy Days voted Missoulian Reader Poll favorite again this year. They're on Brooks between Pizza Hut and Fairbridge Inn and Suite. From Fuddruckers, we've got a $10 gift certificate for the world's greatest hamburgers. Whatever you order off that phenomenal menu of theirs, you get to go top it yourself. Just pile on all your favorite toppings there and have a good time doing that. Also, just a huge menu of local microbrews at Fuddruckers as well. So $10 gift certificate to Fuddruckers, gift card for the Works Car Wash at Happy Days. If you know the answer, 721-1290. We're not going to work you too hard tonight, I don't think. We started talking about it. March Madness is underway. And we, of course, are mad about teams from the west of the Mississippi River. But only 5 have won college basketball's national championship since 1990. That would be UNLV, UCLA, Arizona, Kansas, and A, Arkansas, B, Oklahoma, or C, Texas Tech. Only 5 have won college basketball's national championship teams west of the Mississippi since 1990. UNLV, UCLA, Arizona, Kansas, and A, Arkansas, B, Oklahoma, C, Texas Tech. 721-1290. Gurns, I demand a winner.
Well, if I knew my geography better, Denny, I'd have a better grasp of that. But no,
I can give you different choices. Like
I have the right answer, so we'll see.
I can give you Duke and Villanova.
Sports Talk Tonight brought to you in part by Orange Street Food Farm, locally owned and operated grocery store featuring the freshest fruits and vegetables, fresh meats, and a great beer and wine selection. And by Grizzly Liquor, located downtown next to the Iron Horse, Big Sky Big Selection, and online at grizzlyliquor.com. We're going to take a break, come back with the trivia winner. We're going to have our very special guest, Gary Fuller, talk about Special Olympics when we come back on Sports Talk Tonight with Gurns and Bedard.
I need a winner. 721-1290. Call us now for your chance to win, folks.
With spring comes one of...
Now back to Missoula's Sports Talk Tonight on KGVO.
Missoula Sports.
Every second of every day.
We are back. Sports Talk Tonight, brought to you in part by Bell McCall Ford. Great selection of new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Great deals on 2016 F-150s. Your locally owned low-cost auto dealer for over 100 years in downtown Hamilton. And by Granite Pharmacy, locally owned and operated pharmacy on South Avenue between Shopko and Big Sky High School. Find them at granitepharmacy.com. Denny Bedard, do you have us a winner?
Yes, we do. We've got Lane Spence on the telephone. How you doing this evening, Lane?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
Oh, fine. Thank you so much for putting up with Sports Talk Tonight. We always appreciate that. So
love your show.
Good to have you on board. Thanks. Hey, March Madness underway. We are mad about teams from west of the Mississippi, but only 5 have won college basketball's national championship since 1990. You got UNLV, you got UCLA, Arizona, Kansas, and A, Arkansas, B, Oklahoma, or C, Texas Tech. What do you think there, Lane?
I'm going to guess Arkansas.
Nolan Richardson and his 40 minutes of hell defense. They knocked off Duke 76-72 in 1994. In Duke's backyard, too, is at the Charlotte, North Carolina Coliseum. But
anytime Duke gets beat, it's a good day of basketball.
That is true.
I better change my pick. Hey, Lane, we really do appreciate you listening to the show. I got your mailing address, so we'll get your Fuddruckers gift certificate and Happy Days Car Wash off to you, all right?
Oh, yeah, thanks, guys. I'm really looking forward to your guest that's coming on. I work myself with people with traumatic brain injury, so
Oh, wow.
it'll be interesting.
All right. Well, listen, as the show rolls along, if you have any questions, you get back to us, okay?
You got it, guys. Hey, have a good time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Lane Spence, our winner, and excited to hear from Gary today.
Oh, cool.
Said he worked with folks with traumatic brain injuries and things like that.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And speaking of Gary, our special guest for round 2, and this is how bad my memory is. We had Gary Fuller on here.
Yeah.
I thought it was last year, but it was 2 years ago.
No, it wasn't, was it?
Time flies when you're having fun, apparently. And,
Okay, well, who was that guy in here last year that pretended to be Gary? We had a guest on last year, didn't we?
I don't think so.
Oh, man.
I don't think so.
2 years.
Because it wouldn't be anybody but Gary. So
All right. Well, sorry about that.
I'm telling you. So Gary Fuller, our Special Olympics competitor, ambassador. How's it going, Gary?
It's going good, Scott
Yep.
and Danny.
Thank you for coming in. We appreciate it.
Hey, somebody
You're
remembered
welcome.
your name, Denny.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what
What are you just? Go Duke.
You know what I remember the last time we talked? Weren't you a special ambassador for the Special Olympics? What was going on there? I remember something like that.
I became a global messenger October 4th at 2014, and then November 5th I was elected to serve on the board of directors of 2015, and I'm in my second term of that.
What does that entail? Do you get to travel to some pretty important stuff, or what do you do there?
I sit in on meetings, and I just had a first meeting of the second term in Whitefish on the during the state games, the 5th of March.
Okay, and that was the Winter State Games.
Yes.
Okay.
And I took fourth in my 50 meter snowshoe race and 100 meter, and I got first in that.
I was going to say, I was going to tell you when I talked to you yesterday, I was texting you to bring some medals, but you were probably smarter than that because you know I was probably going to take one and hang it. But congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Note to self: make Gurns a Sports Talk Tonight medal.
That's right.
That would go a long ways. Wouldn't have to pay him for a month or so. Just give him a medal.
Oh, and that's any different than
Montana Special Olympic Games coming up in May in Missoula, and the third year. It's in 3-year rotations. Next year it moves on to. Do you know, Gary, where it?
Great Falls.
Great Falls next year. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, don't hold back. Don't pull any punches. Give your review. Missoula, the first 2 years. What are your impressions? How well has it gone?
I thought the first 2 years it went pretty well. Last year I started a new sport called bocce ball. I took second at the area games last April, and then May I took fourth and second in that.
Yeah. Are you going to? This is funny. The twice in one. Twice in 1 year of all the sports we talk about, we're talking about bocce ball again. Yeah. In fact, I got an email from Kaylee Ewert was our guest. She's a senior at Big Sky High School. I don't know if you know anything about this or not. I'll give you a copy of the flyer if you want it, Gary. But Kaylee is organizing for her senior project a bocce ball tournament. And so she was on as a guest on the show, and she sent me an email the other day. Hey, I'm still looking for teams if you don't mind mentioning. I said, no, I'd be happy to do that. But
and that's Saturday, April the 22nd.
Yeah.
And for more information, call 240-0002, and that benefits the Multiple Sclerosis Society.
Right. That's funny. We're talking about
You should
bocce.
get in there, man.
Yeah.
Come on. So what you got?
Yeah.
So you got done with the winter games, and now it looks like the weather's starting to cooperate a little bit.
Yeah.
And now it's on to the summer games. What's your schedule like? Do you train all year round, or how does that work?
Yeah, I train year round. We'll start on the 18th, the Saturday for bocce and track, and area spring games is April 19th through April 21st here in Missoula, and the state games is May 16th through the 19th. also on May 16th is the law enforcement torch run and torch arrival barbecue at Osprey Stadium, starting at 5 o'clock to 8.
Kind of like the Olympic torch. They bring the torch in and light to start the games. Is that to signify the start of the games?
That won't happen until Wednesday, the 17th,
Okay.
During opening ceremonies for that.
Gotcha. So you eat before, you get a good meal in you, and then you go compete the next day.
Yep.
I'm digging on that. And what who do you train with? Do you have a coach?
Yeah, we just got a new area director and assistant director, Colin Riley and Celeste. I can't remember her last name. Mary Kell, she was the area director. She is now helping her husband with his real estate business. Being an appraiser or whatever you call that.
So she's passing the torch.
Yeah.
To some new blood.
Yep.
What are what events are you going to be competing in the Summer Olympics?
Bocce and track.
Bocce and track.
Yep.
The opening ceremony that has got to talk a little bit about that, what you can recall from last year, but that's got to be a very you are made to feel pretty special at that event, aren't you? What is that experience like?
The opening ceremonies during the state games is the biggest opening ceremonies in Montana.
Yeah.
It brings a lot of fans, a lot of teams around the state. The last 2 years I walked in the Circle of Honor with the officers during the opening ceremonies. I'm hoping to do it again this year. I'll have to talk with the leg leader of the torch run, the Detective Rebecca Burkett, about that and see what I can do.
Have you gotten to know a lot of competitors from around the state? I assume this thing is a lot more competitive than people might think it is, but
yes.
you've probably become pretty good buds with people from around the state, right?
Yes, I've been friends with a lot of them for a lot of years. I started 21 years ago.
Wow.
Been participating for 17.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What? I had a really good question, Denny. My mind escapes. Being in Missoula, you guys get tremendous support all over the state. How does that feel to have all of your family and friends be able to come and cheer and support and does that propel you to better times?
Yeah, it really makes me feel good, and I know that with the Winter Olympics, my family is there in spirit because of the travel and the cold affects my mom. I love her to pieces.
A lot of the competitors do face some, just whether it's physically, emotionally, what have you. But you probably, you seem like, especially if you're acting as an ambassador, you seem like one of those guys that would be there to offer a hand up, a pat on the back, or whatever it takes. But I imagine some of these competitors really, really do face some daunting challenges, don't they, before they come in to compete?
Yes, they do. Seeing all the competitors around the state compete, it blows me away to see their abilities, not their disabilities.
Right.
Just like me, the athlete will let me win, but if I cannot win, let me brave in the attempt. And I do that all when I'm competing.
Sounds like the way people should live their lives in general.
Exactly.
By that model.
Well, I think you said something really similar the last time you were here. That's kind of a mantra of yours, is that you're not looking for fans and volunteers and they're not invited to a pity party at this thing. You're not looking for that. You
It's a
want
celebration.
You want to be celebrated and acknowledged for what you have the ability to do.
Yep. Exactly.
You know what? And I don't have a phone number or anything, but Special Olympics is always looking for volunteers, and I'm sure the state games are, they can use the help.
Exactly. We're still about 2 months out, but I know that, and in typical Missoula fashion, recruiting volunteers that usually goes pretty darn good.
Yeah.
But I imagine that there's got to be some opportunities. I would think just the opportunity to be a volunteer would be a pretty cool deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead, Gary. Sorry.
You can go on the website, somt.org, and there's a volunteer button on there to volunteer.
Sure, and you can volunteer a couple hours, a couple days. There's numerous events. They're all over town.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, it's how many competitors do they figure they're going to have this year, Gary? Do you even know, or what they have last year?
They had roughly about 1,200 competitors. And that's not including the coaches and volunteers. There
That's
were
amazing.
A lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And everybody competes as individuals. Yes, I mean you're not on the Fighting Garys or whatever, right? Is it all individual efforts?
There are some assistants.
Okay.
On some of the competition. Others are individual.
Yeah. Okay. All right. 1,200 Gurns.
That's
No wonder they need so many volunteers.
yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
You like the facilities? Kind of nice to be on your home field and home courts around here.
Yeah, for the last year, I like to travel too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gary's social. I'll tell you that. I've sat with him at a banquet table before, and
Yeah.
It's been 6 years ago
yeah,
since that.
Yep, it's been a while for sure.
Yeah.
I still have your picture. It's on Facebook.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh goodness. Did you get my good side? Do I have a good side?
Yes.
I'll have to check that out. Oh, too cool.
Yeah. I do know one sponsor, one business owner that he donates a lot of time and product. Peter Kern, who owns the bicycle hangar, because he called me and said, "Hey, when it's a ways down the road yet, but when Special Olympics comes there, we are going to be out on the oval because we're donating bikes for them to use in competitions and whatnot. And if you guys want to come out and do some broadcasting, from our venue out on the oval, we ought to talk about that." I said, "Yeah, I imagine we'd probably be on board for that." But I think that is just one example of a lot of businesses and business owners who come forward and really help out with Special Olympics. But we'll need to get more guests on between now and then because we're still, like I say, 2 months down the road, I believe.
Oh, I think so. Gary, I bet you got about 1,000 pictures on your Facebook too. I'm going to have to weed through those to see what's going on there. But once again, those dates, the area games here in Missoula, April 19th through April the 21st. Mm-hmm. The state games will be that next month, May 16th
right
through the 19th. There is a barbecue and the torch, delivery on the 16th from 5 to 8 at Ogren Park Allegiance Field. Mm-hmm. And then opening ceremonies will be the 17th. And are those at big?
I'm not exactly sure where they're going to have the opening ceremonies. Last year it was in the stadium, mm-hmm. Washington Grizzly Stadium. I can give you more information on that when that comes available to me.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Yeah, we want you to stay in touch. So.
Yeah. Well, Gary, good luck. You start practicing here really quick.
Yeah.
And hey, you know what? Bocce ball tournament right there to get ready for the state games.
Give him the bocce ball flyer.
There's the flyer.
Thank you. I'll
You're already the favorite, Gary. You got a chance to look. You get trophies and it's pretty cheap date. It's like $10 to enter and stuff like that per person. But.
Thank you. I'll see what I can do with this tournament.
Yeah.
And
once again, we rise for bocce ball.
There we go, bocce ball. This is the home of bocce ball.
We had a listener make a tremendous contribution to her project the last when she was on, and now who knows? We might have just got her A ringer.
Yeah, they're going to need people to actually to coach and show everybody else how to play. So
Yeah.
I can see with my coach, see if he can help with it.
no, I'm talking about you.
Good.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
All right.
You guys need some satin jackets, logo and stuff.
There you go.
Gurns will take care of that for you, Gary.
You bet. Well, Gary, thank you, my friend, for coming on, and good luck this spring, and bring home some medals.
Thank you so much.
You bet, Gary.
Bye, buddy.
Gary Fuller, Special Olympics competitor and champion in our eyes, and good luck, Gary. And we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk NCAA basketball brackets
You got it.
on Sports Talk Tonight.
Sports Talk Tonight, live from the KGVO studio.
Missoula Sports.
Gary Fuller, our special guest. He's a Montana Special Olympics competitor and a friend of mine that I met about 6 years ago at a banquet, and we've kept in touch. And he's been a guest of ours a few times, and all around good guy, Mr.
He
Gary
is a
Fuller.
good guy. He obviously is a good spokesman and representative for the whole program. So that's always nice too.
He is, and he, as always, our guests are brought to you by First Montana Bank, your home for free Centennial checking plus unlimited cash back every time you use your debit card online at firstmontanabank.com. Danny, you know these 2 days, this Thursday and Friday, are the somebody told me at work that the combined companies lose like $8 billion in productivity loss or some crazy number.
Well,
like that.
I should have been pitching right in. You know.
I mean,
But I didn't do it.
The day after the Super Bowl should be a national holiday.
That is the day most called in sick to work. I know that.
And Thursday, Friday of the NCAA tournament should be. I mean,
March
come on.
Madness.
Come on,
It's
March
awesome.
Madness. It is madness.
It's awesome.
It is fun. That
Yep.
is for dang sure.
Yep.
Dang sure.
And I haven't done it in a long time, but I used to buy myself a ticket and go to one of the first round regionals somewhere, because it was usually, typically not far away. It was Salt Lake, or it was Boise or Spokane, Seattle, some of those. And I haven't done that in many years. Of course, now anymore, places like Boise, probably not, because the arena has gotten too small.
And I think
that has become such a big event too. But the fun of that is, are you going to see a couple blowouts? Probably. But you get to see 6 games. You get to see 4 on the first day, get a day off, and then 2 on the second. So you get to see 6 games in that opening round.
And I wonder,
I miss that.
it's Salt Lake this year, I believe, correct?
Salt Lake, and I believe the other one is Sacramento, maybe, or somewhere in California.
Well, 2 years ago it was Seattle and Portland, and they were on opposite schedules. So I had friends that went. They were on Thursday. They were in Seattle. Then they drove down Friday to Portland, and then back. And I'm like,
that would have been amazing.
When you get a chance to drink some beer, I mean, come on, not down I-5.
But, it has become a tougher ticket, and they sure as heck don't give them away either. But
well, Denny, and looking at you, so my bracket is called the Montana Way because that's the name of my wife's clothing company.
that sounds better than the truth.
I don't know.
like
The
that.
truth is very daunting.
Yeah.
It's very Oh, you know what I'm going to call it?
I can't remember the last.
No.
I can't remember the last year, Gurns, that I really told the truth.
Mine's going to be called Running the Gauntlet.
What happened to the Montana Way?
I don't know.
Fine, mine's called the Montana Way then.
Okay, you take that. Okay.
All right. Hi,
Whatever.
Kelsey.
Yes, you're looking for a shirt. Okay.
Sure.
Well, you got any big upsets, Denny? I mean,
I guess the closest thing I can come up to, as far as upsets and Cinderellas and stuff like that, the lowest seed, Gurns, that I put into the Sweet 16, which is, I think, is what we're going to focus on here. The lowest seed that I put into Sweet 16, I did have one number 11 seed because you just kind of have to. An 11 or 12, you got to throw them into the Sweet 16. I went with Rhode Island on that one.
ooh.
And then Michigan, a number 7 seed. I think that's the next lowest seed that I picked to advance anywhere at all. So
You know who
I stayed pretty true to the numbers, and some of them are just really a kind of a coin toss.
Well, with your schedule and my schedule, and I mean, I watched a lot of Kansas Jayhawk games this year.
I'm sure you did. Yeah.
Probably more than I've watched in
Your
the
team.
couple of years previous. But the one team that I have advancing to the Sweet 16, I have a number 14.
Wow.
Florida Gulf Coast.
Mm-hmm. You're not the only one that said that. I guess they're top 20 in scoring or something like that. Or
Yeah, they've got the most dunks in the country, which is what they had a couple of years ago when they advanced to the 8 or whatever.
16.
Yeah, so
They made it to the Sweet 16. That made the media darling out of their head coach, who is now the head coach of Southern Cal.
yes, he is. And
So they have to. Where have you got them going, to the 16 or the 8?
the 16,
And to do that, they have to get past Florida
State and
Xavier or Maryland.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Wow. Well, that's out there a little bit. Yeah.
Well, Denny,
that's cool.
Why don't you? Let's see here. Yeah, mine. You know what? Mine are very unimaginative. In fact, oh goodness, I'm looking at my brackets, and two of them I've got the 1 through the 4 seeds all going to the Sweet 16. Not creative at all.
Well, no, but that's not. I have one of those. I think. Let's see. 1, 2. I have one of those as well.
So
the top 4 go to the Sweet 16.
So let's start in the East.
East,
because that's my least
over
favorites.
here on the left. All right, I got that.
Okay, give me your four Sweet 16 teams
From the East.
From the East.
Villanova,
Mm-hmm.
Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
SMU, Duke.
Ah, well, okay. I've got Villanova and Virginia as well, but I have Baylor.
Okay.
And Duke myself,
All right.
which I completely hate.
So
we differ on the Baylor SMU.
right. All right. So
And I've actually got USC. That's USC beating SMU. USC throttled UCLA this year. And then they had a guy that got hurt, and now that guy's back. And when I say that guy, I don't know his name.
all right.
But USC is dangerous. Speaking of Florida Gulf Coast.
yeah.
Let's go to the South.
South. Okay, we're over here.
And give me your top. Give me the 4 of your 16.
All right, and that's my straight 4 right there. North Carolina, Butler, UCLA, Kentucky.
I'm with you all the way.
All right.
All the way. And you know what? But you never really hear about Butler except around tournament time. They always seem to win a couple games. Kyle's got Minnesota beating him because he's a Laker.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's just fine. Danny, let's go to the Midwest.
Midwest. All right. I have as my 4 from the Midwest going to the Sweet 16, Kansas, Iowa State, Rhode Island, and Michigan. So that will be my freakiest bracket right there.
Holy cow! I love it. I've got 1 through 4: Kansas, Purdue, Oregon, and Louisville.
Okay. Oregon, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I'm concerned about a key injury there. Michigan just seems to be leading a charmed life right now after that plane crash. And I really liked. I enjoyed watching Iowa State. I mean, I just enjoyed watching them. Those guys can shoot the ball. Purdue is one of those teams. Is just they're really large. So if Iowa State doesn't have any defense underneath, then I could be way off on that one. But I don't know. I just thought a Big 12 number 5 seed looked better than a Big 10 number 4 seed to me.
Okay.
So I went with Iowa State.
Okay.
So you went straight 4 on that one again?
I did. And
so you've got Kansas,
Purdue, Oregon, Louisville.
Okay. All right.
And now let's go to the West.
To the West, I have Gonzaga, Notre Dame, Florida State, Arizona. So in that case, with the exception of
1532.
Yeah, and it was hard not to put West Virginia in there instead of Notre Dame. But I went with Gonzaga, Notre Dame, Florida State, and Arizona.
I've got Gonzaga and Arizona as well, but I've got Florida Gulf Coast and West Virginia. I've seen them play. I tell you what, they can beat anybody in the country. Bob Huggins. They're hot and cold, but I went with the Big 12.
Yeah, a team that I kind of I went with the Catholics.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, because I got Xavier moving one. I got Xavier beating Maryland in the first round, but yeah, that's what I went with. So those are our Sweet 16. So you and I have, let's see, all four there, one different there. I think we have a difference of about 5.
Okay.
All right.
Where do you have? We'll get to the Final Four in a minute here. Where do you have 12s beating 5s?
Okay.
Because that's always kind of the
and those are some of the most fun ones. The 11 and 6 is pretty fun too, but 12's taking out 5s. I have Middle Tennessee State beating Kyle Stensrud's beloved Golden Gophers.
So do I.
A lot of people do. So I just kind of followed like a lemming on that one. And then where I maybe that's my only one.
That's my only one. I thought I had another one, but apparently I didn't.
A lot of people are on the UNC Wilmington bandwagon to beat Virginia, but I didn't go there. But a lot of people say that would be a possibility for a 12 knocking out a 5, and that is the only. Yes, that's the only 12-5 that I have with the 12 pulling out a win.
Huh. Well. That what about 11-6, Denny?
That's a little bit different story.
You like that? I've got Xavier beating Maryland.
I have that too.
I've got USC if they win tonight, beating SMU.
You have them beating SMU. Okay.
I've got Rhode Island beating Creighton.
Same here.
And I've got Kansas State beating Cincinnati. I've got all of them.
Wow. Your 11s are like 1s.
I guess.
Man, oh man. I didn't realize you were doing that.
Maybe I should change it.
You picked 3 11s.
4.
All 4?
All of them.
Oh yeah, you
depending
did.
on USC.
Oh, Gurns. Wow.
Because here's the deal, if we'll take pictures of these. So I have the right to, if USC loses, I'm going to take SMU to beat Providence. So, and that might change them. That might change some things up.
We'll give you that one.
So points 1, 2, 3, up, and then we'll just. All right, Final Four, Denny. Who do you have?
I have Kansas, UCLA, Gonzaga, Duke.
I've got Kansas, UCLA, Duke, and Arizona.
That's unbelievable.
In Arizona, who's in the chipper?
Duke versus Kansas.
Oh, and you got Duke winning.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't?
No. I have Kansas. I have your rock chalk.
I got Kansas. I got Kansas over Arizona.
Okay. All right. Well, we are very similar in a lot of these. So.
Well, because we're both a couple of smart individuals.
Apparently. I don't know. I just figured I'm not going to pick more than 2 number 1 seeds, and so I chose Kansas and Gonzaga on that. And then I just figured a 3 and a 2 has got to get in there somewhere, and a 3 has got to, don't they? I mean,
Well, it's never all 1s. I mean, it's usually like a 1, a 3, and a 10, or
yeah. And I don't know why I'm really kind of anti Villanova. I guess I'm not, but I just know it's really hard to be a national champion 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I mean, we have them doing well, but we'll see. I am going to be in Las Vegas on the Sunday, the last day before the Final Four is set, and hopefully, and I'm going with a buddy whose favorite team is Louisville, and the Jayhawks and Louisville could meet on that Sunday while we're down there, which would be crazy.
I may be way, way, way off the mark on Louisville, but I just I don't know. I just something says a little bit overseeded there.
Well, we'll get Kyle's picks when he turns them in tomorrow, and I already know we're going to be one up on him with that Minnesota score. So, anyway. Hey, when we come back, we will have Stupid and Steel, talk a little NFL. Major League Baseball is about ready to start up. The Grizz had their pro day, all that, and a little bit more when we're back after this on Sports Talk Tonight.
Now back to Missoula's Sports Talk Tonight on KGVO.
Missoula Sports.
Every second of every day.
We are back. Sports Talk Tonight with Gerns and Bedard, brought to you in part by Jerry Wessel's Tire Center. Locally owned Les Schwab Tire Center provides the best tire value promise. Visit them online at jerrywesselstirecenter.com. And by CHS, Mountain West Co-op, Western Montana's source for Cenex fuel, feed, fertilizer, clothing, and tack for over 75 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Scott Guernsey's Steel of the Week, and that's brought to you by True North Steel, Western Montana's industry leader in quality, manufactured, and fabricated steel products. Gerns, what's stealing?
Denny, my steel of the week is pretty lame, actually. It's
don't be so modest.
Well, you know, and this is just a question out there, and I don't even really need an answer except from you. But everybody is saying that Syracuse, coached by Jim Boeheim, totally got a screw job by not getting invited to the NCAA tournament. Now, you tell me, does a team that finishes 18-14 actually deserve a bid to the NCAA tournament? I mean, I know they won some good games. They beat Duke. They also lost some really bad games. Mm-hmm. I almost get to the feeling that people think they should be allowed in there because they're Syracuse and they've won national championship. I mean, I think you're getting off prior laurels or
yeah, living on reputation.
Yeah.
I think that enters into it, and I think his gripe, and I'm not saying it's a legitimate gripe because you did fine. Congratulations on getting in the tournament and doing pretty good last year. I think his point was, we similar record, similar scenario. Everything was the same in 2016 as it is in 2017, and we got into the tournament last year. This year we got rejected because they, as I understand it, put a little more value, not so much, they put value on wins, but they put a little more value on noticeable losses. And that's where Syracuse enters into that. But no, I don't feel that way. I go even further than that. You don't want me as a commissioner in college basketball because if you really want some parity and to me more fan excitement, I think I'd have gotten a big kick out of watching Illinois State, who went like 27-6 or something like that. I would have loved to have seen them as maybe a 13 seed taking on a 4, but they didn't get in because they're Illinois State and they didn't have enough quality wins. But put me in charge. The first motion I'd make is, okay, you want more parity in college basketball? Then the new rule is this, that only how many teams are in the ACC? It's a big conference.
Oh, it's like 16.
Okay, so maybe they get an extra, but a limit of 5 teams per conference,
sure,
maximum, go to the NCAA tournament.
Make the regular season count more,
and create some parity, and put some teams in there that I think actually have more fan interest.
Some Cinderella,
because if your thing comes to fruition, who isn't going to be rooting for Florida Gulf Coast to get into the Sweet 16?
Right.
Well, I would like to see a few more teams of that caliber, of that level, whether you want to call it mid-major or what. But no, honestly, I'd propose a rule that there's you put a maximum. Aren't there a couple of conferences that have 8 or 9 teams in them?
Oh, something like that. Syracuse finished 9th.
Yeah,
out of 16 teams.
So,
in the lower half,
it's not March Madness anymore. It's Pac-12 ACC Madness or whatever, or Big East Madness.
Call it a steal of the week? Maybe not, but that's mine, Denny.
All right. Steal of the week is brought to you, as always, by True North Steel. They are Western Montana's industry leader in quality, manufactured, and fabricated steel products.
Stupid athlete of the week, Denny. It never fails. I mean, if you were to take all of the stupid athletes of the week, I wish I had a list of them. Because they reoccur. Okay, it's not Johnny Manziel. It's not Alden Smith.
Okay.
It's Ezekiel Elliott. Did you hear?
That's recurring.
Did you hear what he did again?
No.
Oh,
I wait for you.
I believe he was in Columbus, Ohio. They had a St. Patty. By the way, what's up with having the St. Patty's Day parade on Saturday before a Friday St. Patty's Day in Missoula? Have it on Saturday after.
Well, I don't know. They always have it the Saturday before.
Boy, I digress there.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Ezekiel Elliott is at a St. Patty's Day parade, and they catch him on video pulling down a woman's top and exposing her breasts. And then he tries to do it again as she's slapping his hands away from her. Now, not only does the guy have the questionable, the marijuana purchase, he came into the league with a domestic assault accusation on him to begin with. And now, I mean, Denny, they're trying to bring charges on him as a sexual assault charge. Which, hey, I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing?
You are entering a territory that is getting so much publicity and attention, deservedly so, right now. I mean, you're entering an area that is no longer going to be kind of, let's just sort of look the other way or things like that. I mean,
I don't fault anybody for trying to make that happen. I mean, if that's how you feel, then by all means, press charges. But it's society these days, and this is another subject. My son's 12. I remember back in high school or junior high, you'd pants kids. And now I need to have and not that, I mean, I don't agree with that, but I need to talk to my kid, be like, listen, you do something like that these days, you're kicked out of school.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some serious stuff.
Yeah, it ain't a harmless boy prank anymore.
No. And whether he thought that that's what he was doing or whatever, I mean, you just don't do that.
Well, and I'll throw in a runner-up to your stupid athlete of the week. You talk about it because Jennifer was reading this to me on the drive to work, I think, yesterday. Everything, all of these scandals and allegations and dismissals at Baylor. They just brought on an assistant coach in charge of this, that, and the other thing. He lasted about a month, has been removed from the position because he was sending obscene text messages to a teenage girl.
We just had a new Baylor coach that got kicked that we had stupid about a month ago for something else. Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
I don't know, Denny.
You just don't get it.
I don't know. I mean, hey, you know what? Patriots are up to their old tricks, signing great free agents left and right. Rich just keep getting richer. The Seattle Seahawks sign a 267-pound former Packer Eddie Lacy.
I'm telling you, that's where the weight they want him.
Spring training has started. Spring football practice for the Grizz has started. The spring game in Butte on April the 22nd. Yep. And I also found out that the Montana Tech spring game is the April the 22nd.
Oh.
Yeah.
Making it a doubleheader.
Well, it's at a different stadium, but yeah, it's you double your pleasure over there.
All right.
Hey, get to Access Fitness, Denny.
All right, buddy.
I'll see you there. Sports Talk tonight, Gurns and Bedard. March Madness, here we come.
See you next Wednesday, Gurns.